I have opinions and you should listen to them or don't. What's going on, melon farmers? D-Mac back with a weird little video. I'm going to start doing these on the side every once in a while. I'm going to start doing some list videos where you guys can, I guess, maybe, I know I look like a homeless person. One take, we don't care. Where I'm just going to do a couple little videos where I tell you guys, my favorite teams, my favorite players, the games that I'm going to watch, maybe players that I like, We're going to start with 7 players that I am really enjoying watching this year, or 7 players that I really am going to enjoy watching this year. Anyway, as always, hit that like button and coming in at numbers. So you know what actually I think I'm going to do? We're going to put their name, we'll put their name like up here or something. Like I said, I don't know things. For the Detroit Red Wings is Bobby Ryan. I'm really, really loving watching Bobby Ryan. There was no expectation for him this season going to Detroit. He signed this tiny little contract, Anyway, there was no expectations on him when he went to Detroit. A lot of people were probably thinking, I don't know, does he even play? Does he even make the main roster? Is he going to be a taxi squad kind of guy? And boom, he comes out of nowhere for the Detroit Red Wings. And actually kind of he led them in scoring for the first week or something like that, right? Anyway, he looked really good with Detroit. Do I think that it's going to translate to him being like a 30-goal scorer again? He's 33. I highly doubt it. It's his best days are behind him. Maybe he could have a bit of a renaissance, bring back a little bit of the magic that got him picked second overall in it was the Sidney Crosby year, I believe. He was picked second overall. Maybe we can get a little bit of that magic back. Not 100% sure. I actually feel really self-conscious right now, so I'm going to go and put a hat on. That's a little better. You guys have no idea who I cheer for. All right, coming in at number 6 for the Edmonton Oilers, Kailer Yamamoto. Love watching Kailer Yamamoto. As a guy who plays a lot of EA NHL, as you guys very clearly know from watching this channel, play a lot of EA NHL. Always loved Kailer Yamamoto in the games, knew that he always grew very well, and then he finally got the call up last season to stay in the Oilers lineup. I believe he was there for, 27 games, wasn't he? It was either 26 or 27 or something like that. Anyway, he was pretty much a point-per-game player. And the thing that I always love the most about Kailer Yamamoto's game is that he plays like he's 10 feet tall. He is a rough player. And he sometimes maybe gets a little on the dirty side. You watch him, Kailer Yamamoto's not always the cleanest player, but he's this tiny little guy. You see him on the ice, he is so tiny. And he looks tiny in comparison to all the other players. But it's like Kailer Yamamoto plays like he is 10 feet tall, and I kind of love it. Kailer Yamamoto is definitely going to be a guy to watch in the future for the Oilers. Coming in at number 5, and I was one of the haters last year, New Jersey Devils' very own number 1 overall pick, Jack Hughes. I was a huge hater on Jack Hughes last year. I was Team Capo Caco all the way. Actually, I was Team Kirby Doc, but I was Team, because I was pretty damn thrilled about Kirby Doc, to be 100% honest. But anyway, when it came to the top 2 picks in the draft last year, I was definitely Team Kako over Team Hughes. And this season, he's just really exciting to watch. Has he made mistakes? Yes. Has he cost his team a goal or two? Sure. But he's absolutely the best offensive player they have on the team right now. He's showing that he's the future in New Jersey when it comes to offense. And he's just really exciting to watch. And I absolutely love watching New Jersey this year, which is very strange for me. New Jersey has always been one of those teams for me. And I've watched hockey since I was a little kid. Even in the Marty Brodeur era, when he was in his heyday, I was always very when it came to the New Jersey Devils. And I'm actually finding myself really excited to watch Devils games this year, which is kind of a nice change of pace, to be honest. Coming in at number 4, this is a strange one. Number 4, Washington Capitals, Tom Wilson. Tom Wilson has become one of my favorite players to watch. He's one of those guys, he rides the line all the time between clean and dirty, and a lot of times he crosses that line. And he has made some dirty plays that have made him kind of tough to like, but he's such a big dude. He's such a powerhouse of a guy. He drives the net better than almost anybody. And when he decides physically he's going to dominate a game and he's just going to drive the net, you're just not going to stop him. He's one of those players that can just decide, I'm going to get to the front of this net, and once I'm there, like, you're not going to stop me from getting there, and once I'm there, you're not going to move me. So he's really, really interesting to watch, really exciting to watch, and he's actually been he's pretty much been Washington's best player so far this season, other than, I would say, maybe Nick Backstrom. I think Tom Wilson has pretty much been Washington's best player. Coming in at number 3, the rookie goaltender from Chicago itself, the Blackhawks' own Lankinen, man. KevinLankin for the Chicago Blackhawks in at number 3. He has been so awesome to watch. As a Hawks fan who had no expectations this year, I had no ideas of grandeur that we were going to be this Cinderella Stanley Cup team or anything. I don't even think we're going to make the playoffs, and I don't even necessarily think it's going to be that close that we are even in the running. We're not even going to be in the conversation. And then KevinLankin, man. It's like, you got Taves gone. You got Alex Nylander gone. You got Kirby Dach is gone. Now you got DeBrincat, Bachvist. All these guys are out. You got seemingly no goaltending, and then KevinLankin goes in. He's relatively solid. You put him in again, he's even more solid. Every single game that they play Lankinen, he's just more solid in the net. Now, at the time I'm recording this, he has under 2 goals against per game, and I think he's almost at a 940. I think he's at like a 937. On a team that does not have a lot of bright spots, he has definitely been the bright spot for the Chicago Blackhawks this year, along with Pius Suter and Patrick Kane. I wouldn't even call him a bright spot because it's just Patty Kane being Patty Kane, man. Oh, my voice is dying on me. I need some Pepsi. Coming in at number 2, this one was another surprise to even me, man. Florida Panthers, Carter Verhaeghe, man. Verhaeghe, along with Duclair, has been this weird dynamic that just works, you know? It just freaking works. But not the way I thought it was going to work. I thought Verhaeghe was going to be excellent at setting up Duclair, and I thought Duclair was going to net a lot of goals for Florida this year, and thus far it has been the other way around. Duclair has like 6 assists or 7 assists or something like that, and Verhaeghe, every time he drives the net, Verhaeghe's just putting it in. He's just like racking up goals this season, but he's been so exciting to watch, and he's been one of Florida's most prominent players. Coming from Tampa, he was kind of a surprise in Tampa. He did play very well. I was like, okay, well, you never know where he's exactly going to slot in on that team. They put him with Duclair, and boom, it just worked. So Verhaeghe has been absolutely one of the best Florida Panthers to watch so far this season, and it's going to be really interesting to see. It's going to be really interesting to see what him and Duclair can do this year. I'm sure it'll turn around and Duke will start putting in a lot of goals. Verhaeghe will start putting up a lot of assists. Maybe. I don't know, man. Time will tell. It's a weird season. And coming in at number 1 of the players I love to watch this season, Montreal Canadiens' Josh Anderson, man. As someone who was actually relatively unfamiliar with Josh Anderson, I mean, I started paying attention to Columbus in the Tampa Bay President's Trophy season where Columbus swept Tampa. I started kind of taking notice of Columbus, and then last season, when all the superstars were gone and no one expected them to do anything, they were a really good team, but Josh Anderson really wasn't a huge part of that team. And then when I heard it was like Max Domi for Josh Anderson, I'm like, wow. And he had 1 goal last year. Wow, I really don't know what to expect with this guy. And then he comes to Montreal, and the second the season started, he was easily the most dominant player on the team. And now with Suzuki and with Josh Anderson and Nick Suzuki, and you got just everything is flying right now. You know, everything for Montreal is going great. They're a bigger team. They're a better team. Their goaltending's finally steady. But I think Josh Anderson has probably been the most fun player for me personally to watch. I know that a lot of people are probably going to disagree with like 90% of this video. Well, maybe not 90 because it's only 7 players and the math doesn't really work on that, but you know what I mean. Why don't you leave me a comment telling me who your favorite player, or even players, you give me a top 2, give me a top 3, just your number 1 favorite. Give me your favorite players, the players you love to watch this season. Just let me know. I didn't want to include like Connor McDavid because that one's just too easy, you know. I mean, I really enjoy watching McDavid play, but I've never really been a huge fan of like the superstar. I've always been more of a fan of that, like, second guy, third guy, fourth guy, just the guys that maybe don't get talked about quite as much as the megastars, but they really do well. You know, those are the guys that I really like. I think the exception on this list right now is actually probably Lankinen in Chicago because everyone is talking about him right now. Anyway, that's all for me for right now. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. There's new videos coming all the frickin' time. If you love this list or you hate this list, let me know with the likes and the dislikes and the comments and all that jazz. And until next time, you beautiful melon farmers, have a good one.